OHIO. Welcome back to United Taste of America. I'm Rick K. Jones, your host. And today we find ourselves in the Buckeye State, the great state of Ohio. You know, Ohio was named for this river, the Ohio River, an Iroquois Indian word. The French trappers were the first to explore this area, and then it became part of British Canada. It wasn't until the Treaty of 1783 at the end of the Revolutionary War that this became part of our Northwest Territory. And then the settlers rushed in from New York, New England, and Pennsylvania. And in 1803, Ohio became the 17th state in our Union. This river was very, very important because this is where thousands of African slaves would cross to find their freedom. After the Civil War, this became a major industrial state. And you know, many of the great companies that were founded here, names like Goodyear and Firestone, Procter & Gamble, Dow Chemical, and many, many others. This is the home of Hoover vacuum cleaners, and yes, Play-Doh. Like so many other states, the iconic foods of Ohio come largely from the ethnic groups that settled here. Up in the north around Lake Erie were many Eastern Europeans who brought foods like pierogies, the Polish boy hot dog, and sauerkraut balls. Down south, we have the famous Gouda sausage, along with the Barberton chicken dish, a Serbian dish of chicken, hot rice, and peppers. The state produces a lot of ice cream, like iconic brands like Graeter's and the Klondike Bar. It's the home of pawpaws. Remember the old children's song, picking up pawpaws, put them in your pocket? Well, they come from Ohio. But the most iconic dish of all is chili. In fact, in Cincinnati, there's still over 300 chili parlors. But I know one really special one. It's Camp Washington Chili. And let's go there now. I'm here with Marie Papakirk at Camp Washington Chili in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thanks for having us today.
Our pleasure. Thank you for coming.
It's very exciting. Okay, let's start with your third generation.
Yes.
Why is Cincinnati such a haven for chili parlors?
Well, there's over 300 of them. That's why. And it's been in Cincinnati since 1922, and it keeps growing every year. There are more chili parlors, so that's why. There's one on every corner.
And so was it really just because they served different ethnic neighborhoods, and so there was one on every corner? It kind of was the community restaurant?
Right. They all started working for the same Greek entrepreneur back in 1922, and all these Greek immigrants saw this guy making a killing. So they're like, I can do that. So everybody left, tweaked the recipe, and opened it in their own neighborhood. And that's how it branched out. But they all started from one chili parlor.
Well, it's interesting about that because I've traveled across the country and there are a lot of chili parlors in other cities, and they seem to all have been founded by Greeks. So it's interesting, like you go to Detroit, it's famous for their chili there too, all Greeks.
We know our food.
So yeah, and so I guess it was originated, one smart entrepreneurial Greek immigrant led to the whole proliferation of chili parlors. Let's talk about this place. So your dad's uncle started this, okay?
Yes.
And he started it when, 1940?
1940, with another Greek gentleman.
Okay.
So two partners. My dad came from Greece in 1951. Literally the American dream story. Traveled across the ocean on a big ship, landed in Ellis Island, took a train to Cincinnati's Union Terminal, and the rest is history. Jumped right into the business and kind of worked his way up, bought into the business, and then eventually in the early 70s, bought it for himself.
And your dad will be 90 here coming up soon.
Yes.
And you, though, went to law school. You were an attorney.
I was.
And then what made you decide to come back and run what I guess is the family business?
Because I wanted to keep some friends. No. My dad was at the retiring age, and we were expanding from the old location into this brand new, beautiful building. And my husband and I were getting ready to start a family. I was like, you know what? Somebody's got to take over for Dad. And it was the best decision I ever made. No regrets, not looking back. I've met thousands of amazing people, got to serve them the country's best chili, and I've been loving it ever since.
Oh, let's talk about the name, Camp Washington. Why Camp Washington?
It's the name of the neighborhood. Very old, historic, inner city neighborhood in Cincinnati. Had a lot of factories, and actually it was the old meat packing district of Cincinnati. A lot of slaughterhouses. And it was named after George Washington because there was a war in the area, and they named it Camp Washington after our president, George Washington.
That's pretty cool. And you're close to the Ohio River, this neighborhood is. And so a lot of the commerce that came into Cincinnati was being transported on the Ohio River or by train. And this was a train hub.
We are very centrally located. A 2-minute drive to downtown Cincinnati, 2-minute drive to the river. So we're pretty central, urban Cincinnati.
All right, you serve a lot of stuff, but it starts with the chili. Let's talk about the chili. Unique flavor, what I call a Greek chili, because it has spices that you don't necessarily get like with Tex-Mex chili.
Correct.
It's different. So talk about your chili, because you make a lot of it.
Well, we make it fresh daily, and actually we make 60 gallons that we go through in a 24-hour period. We're open all night long. And we do use a lot of spices typical to Greek cuisine, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the cloves, and then I cannot tell you anymore.
Right.
We have a lot of, paprika chili powder, gives it a nice little kick. And we serve thousands of bowls of chili daily, thousands of cheese conies. We pride ourselves in grinding the beef fresh. We get rounds, and we have our own beef grinder. So my staff, Charles, grinds the beef every day, so we don't get any fillers. 100% fresh, never frozen. You can pronounce every ingredient, tomatoes, garlic, onions, never frozen, like a home-cooked meal.
Wow. And then you don't bring processed cheese or pre-shredded cheese. You shred your own cheese, correct?
Yes. So one thing my father told me, don't buy the cheese unless you see the stamp of Wisconsin on the box.
Okay.
So we get these 40-pound blocks of Wisconsin cheddar that we shred by hand here every single day. 100% real cheese.
Okay. All right. So famous dish, chili, 2 ways, 3 ways, 4 ways, most iconic 5 ways. Let's talk about that. What's the base?
So the base is the spaghetti, and then you build it from there. So chili spaghetti, it is what it is, a 2-way. Then you can add the cheese, which makes it a 3-way. If you like onions, add that, makes it a 4-way. If you like beans, you add that, makes it a 5-way. But then you can tailor it to your likings. A lot of people don't want the cheese, so they don't top it with the cheese. Some people want the beans and not the onions. Some people like our chili straight up, just a bowl of plain chili.
Right.
Some people love it on our cheese conies, the coney dogs, mustard onions, chili and cheese. So many ways to have it. On a burger, on an omelet, on French fries, on a grilled cheese.
Yeah, on a shoebox or an old
You name
shoe, exactly. And you also serve, I love this, oyster crackers, because everybody loves oyster crackers that go with it. So sprinkle those in or eat
Adds
those
to
on
the
top.
texture, and actually it
Exactly.
takes a little bit away of the spice kick away from the palate. So
I like it.
it's good.
All right, now, you won a James Beard Award. Talk a little bit about that. How did that come about?
Well, that is probably our most proud moment. It came about in June of 2000. We got a phone call. There was no internet, or there was, but we didn't have access to it.
Right.
No cell phones. And somebody from New York called, like on the main line, and said, you won this award called the James Beard Award. We did a little research. We're like, yeah, I think we've heard of it. And they liked us to come to New York, a black tie gala. We go to New York, and it was like the Oscars of the food industry. All the Food Network stars were there, and it was such an honor to receive that award, after my parents' hard work, being recognized in front of this culinary community. It was amazing.
That's good. Well deserved. I love the culture of your people here. You've got a number of your hostesses that have been here 20 or more years. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, all our servers, in fact, have worked 25 plus years. Like the two that were here today, Angel and Crystal, 25 years each. You know, it's great. They know the customers. They get their order ready before they even like sit down. And it's like family. Like they become friends with our customers, and they really care about our business.
Well, you can tell by the food, there's a lot of love in this. Obviously, you have a lot to be proud of. Your dad took his uncle's heritage and built it even bigger and better than you've taken over. And so it's pretty gratifying to be here. And we can't thank you enough for having us today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Happy to teach the world about Camp Washington Chili.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a wrap on the great state of Ohio and Camp Washington Chili. We'll see you next time on United Taste of America. Hey, it's time to eat.